Psalms 105. Thank the Lord for all the glorious things he does. Proclaim them to the nations. Sing his praises and tell everyone about his miracles. Glory in the Lord, O worshippers of God. Rejoice. Search for him and for his strength, and keep on searching. Think of the mighty deeds he did for us, his chosen ones, descendants of God's servant Abraham and of Jacob. Remember how he destroyed our enemies. He is the Lord our God. His goodness is seen everywhere throughout the land. Though 1,000 generations pass, he never forgets his promise, his covenant with Abraham and Isaac, and confirmed with Jacob. This is his never-ending treaty with the people of Israel. I will give you the land of Canaan as your inheritance. He said this when they were but few in number, very few, and were only visitors in Canaan. Later they were dispersed among the nations and were driven from one kingdom to another, but through it all he would not let one thing be done to them apart from his decision. He destroyed many a king who tried. Touch not these chosen ones of mine, he warned, and do not hurt my prophets. He called for a famine on the land of Canaan, cutting off its food supply. Then he sent Joseph as a slave to Egypt to save his people from starvation. There in prison they hurt his feet with fetters and placed his neck in an iron collar. Until God's time finally came, how God tested his patience. Then the king sent for him and set him free. He was put in charge of all the king's possessions. At his pleasure he could imprison the king's aides and teach the king's advisers. Then Jacob, Israel, arrived in Egypt and lived there with his sons. In the years that followed, the people of Israel multiplied explosively until they were a greater nation than their rulers. At that point, God turned the Egyptians against the Israelis. They hated and enslaved them. But God sent Moses as his representative, and Aaron with him, to call down miracles of terror upon the land of Egypt. They followed his instructions, and he sent thick darkness through the land and turned the nation's water into blood, poisoning the fish. Then frogs invaded the enormous numbers. They were found even in the king's private rooms. When Moses spoke, the flies and other insects swarmed in vast clouds from one end of Egypt to the other. Instead of rain, he sent down murderous hail, and lightning flashes overwhelmed the nation. Their grapevines and fig trees were ruined. All the trees lay broken on the ground. He spoke, and hordes of locusts came and ate up everything green, destroying all the crops. Then he killed the oldest child in each Egyptian home, their pride and joy, and brought his people safely out from Egypt, loaded with silver and gold. There were no sick and feeble folk among them. Egypt was glad when they were gone, for the dread of them was great. He spread out a cloud above them to shield them from the burning sun, and gave them a pillar of flame at night to give them light. They asked for meat, and he sent them quail, and he gave them manna, bread from heaven. He opened up a rock, and water gushed out from a river through the dry and barren land, for he remembered his sacred promises to Abraham his servant. So he brought his chosen ones singing to the promised land. He gave them the lands of the Gentiles, complete with their growing crops. They ate what others planted. This was done to make them faithful and obedient to his laws. Hallelujah.